did it. He did it. Aaron Judge hit number 62, and he is number 7 all time in single season home run history. They made such a hoopla about it. I was up in New York on Saturday, and they were booing the shit out of Orioles pitchers. They hit him his first fucking at bat. Man. And everyone is up in arms. Number 7 all time in single season history. Can you believe it?
7. Yep, that lucky number. Everybody remembers 7. Remember when Lance Armstrong won the Tour de France? He won it 7 times. Remember all those guys who finished 7th?
That's right. Yeah, all those Englishmen and Frenchmen and countries from all over.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Remember the World Cup last time? And who came in 7th in that one?
God, shit. Do they have 7th place games?
I was like, I don't think that's a valid analogy, but that's fair. Go get
it.
No.
Look, he's from New York. I get it. Roger Maris hit 61. I get it. Look, I'm starting to think we've gotten so far away from the Bond steroid scandal that just nobody cares until you're hitting 72. Nobody cares.
Well, that's the big debate. You know, do you hold him in a high esteem because he did it quote unquote clean, or is he still number 7 behind Bonds, McGuire, Sosa, McGuire, Sosa, and Sosa?
Yeah. Well, okay. So if you break it down by just name recognition, what is he, number 4?
Yeah, Sosa did it 3 times, McGuire did it twice, Bonds did it once. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, remember that guy who finished 4th at the Daytona?
Sure, was it Ricky? Was it Ricky Rod?
Yeah, nobody cares about 4th. Look, it's a huge achievement, okay? Especially if he did it clean. Yes, but because Major League Baseball didn't scrub the books immediately following that congressional hearing where Rafael Palmeiro, one of my favorite Orioles of all time, until he wagged his bony Latino finger in the face of Congress, it ruined everything. If they went and scrubbed the books right after that, then fine. This would be a magnificent achievement. But right now, it's a 4th best achievement at best, and statistically, it's the 7th best achievement in that category. So, sorry, Aaron Judge. I wish I could hold you high upon my shoulders, but I just can't get juiced up like Mark McGuire and Barry Bonds.
I tell you, when they hit him, because Sarah and I went up Saturday morning, met up with Adam, our legal counsel, took the subway over. It was a half-hour delay, so like 1:35 first pitch, and he was hitting leadoff. I guess he's the best hitter. Fuck it, they want to hit him leadoff, and yeah, he got plunked first at bat on the elbow. Whew, damn, I thought a beer was going to come my way. I thought I was going to get hit. Kind of covering over my Oriole hat.
Dude, when we went up for that second to last game, remember they plunked Jeter and we instantly just like knee jerk, I don't know, it's in our DNA to start cheering when Derek Jeter gets fucking plunked. And it's like, yeah, and then some Yankees fan, God bless them, right next to us is like, hey, and we're like, oh yeah, you're right. We're in your home and we do apologize. We will simmer down and sit down. Thank you.
No, fuck all that.
Alan knows this. I was going to say, like, we could have said, hey, this doesn't tame you when you're down in Baltimore. You motherfuckers get more juiced up.
Yeah, fuck them.
Well,
which
you know what?
The fucking my take towards this whole thing. You know, we don't really got to go in depth. Fuck the Yankees. Fuck Aaron Judge. I hope only bad things happen to them and only them for the rest of their lives. You know, that's it. That's in a nutshell. Fuck them.
I have a weird way of not holding the pinstripes against a player who's never worn another uniform. So I don't hold Aaron Judge's Yankeedom against him because he's never played for another team.
Nah, I liken this to like if we had a buddy and he married the girl he lost his virginity to. You got no life experience. Fuck you. You don't even know life. It's a charmed ass life being a Yankee. Fuck off. Like
okay, all right. What if the first chick you lay is like high-end Victoria's Secret model? I mean, what if you know, sometimes... I mean,
what if that high-end fucking Victoria's Secret coochie bad? And you don't know. You're just here. Yeah, it's great. It's in a great package, but it's fucking terrible. You know what I mean?
But not always.
Yeah, that's
sometimes
assuming-
you're ruined.
It could be.
He could figure out if he watched porn. You know,
Just lay there like a dead fish.
I'm a model.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying. Sometimes people luck out, with the first thing they have. Like, imagine your first meal was at a 3-star Michelin restaurant, and then you got it. Then what? You're supposed to go try McDonald's? Why?
Yeah. Because look, as good as that delicious fucking coq au vin that you ate at the 3-star fucking restaurant was, god damn it if that double cheese and fucking hot French fries at 3 a.m. ain't equally as delicious.
You're not wrong.
Contextually.
But okay, maybe this was a bad analogy because you're talking about Giselle Bündchen versus like a crack whore on like 5th Street.
But if that crack whore used to have if that crack whore could turn back the clock,
I was like, yeah, that crack whore fucking sucked chrome off a trailer hitch, and Giselle ain't been on a knee in fucking years.
That's right.
You know what I mean? A Giselle knee hasn't touched the earth in ages.
She may have, in some weird show of respect, T-bowed once. Did like this, and was like, haha, look at me, take a photos. This is for charity. But that
while making fun of Tom Brady, like it's in the divorce proceedings already.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's all true.
I don't know. It sounds like a ruse. I'm not falling for it. I'm not falling for it yet.
What would be the benefit of a ruse of a divorce?
Publicity.
They don't need any. Like,
I know, but it's publicity, man.
I mean, I don't blame her in a way. Like, okay, Tommy, she's been raising these kids. Tommy's playing football like 9 months a year. I mean, there's barely been any time off in the last 22 years of his life. They've been together like 15 or something. And it's like, okay, fine, I'll hang it up. I'm going to come home now. I'll take the kids to ballet practice tomorrow. They're like, never mind. I'm going to go back and slang the pigskin a little bit more. It's like, fuck you, man. I've been waiting around. You told me you were done. Now you're not. Wishy-washy. I don't know. I get it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, and she's worth more than him. So
that's wild.
She doesn't need this motherfucker. She doesn't need his fucking TB12 system. Nobody's on it except him. Like, he's not even profiting. Like, it's just a thing that he slapped a label. He was like, look, this is how I live. Boom, TB12. Yeah. Nobody cares. Fucking Joe was like, you know what? I'm done.
She probably got sick of calling him that. He was like,
I might take a knee. I'm gonna go find somebody to make me take a couple knees. All right, it ain't Tom fucking Brady anymore.
Dude, that's wild. It is wild that she's worth more than him. Like, look what he's done. It is because I'm basing it on effort, right? Like the effort that Tom Brady has to put forth to earn his millions of dollars versus the effort she has to put forth.
Amen. Life ain't fair.
I mean, you just said she fucking raised kids by herself while making more money than the man whose kids she sired.
So, yeah, but I mean, the raising of the kids isn't the thing making her the money. It's the peacock walk down a.
Well, yeah, but my point is like this bitch has been staying home, taking care of kids, not making more money. She's like that. She's not even actually working and worth more money than this fucking guy.
Is she?
If we start to dial this back, Tom Brady's a fucking deadbeat. I'm saying it.
She hasn't done.
He's a deadbeat husband. He might be a deadbeat father. I don't know.
You're saying she's done no modeling in the last couple of years,
but like it's marginal.
Okay,
she's walked a couple catwalks. She's fucking ate a couple diuretics an hour before fucking showtime. Like. That's it.
I'm thinking the catwalking days are over. Other models walk the catwalk, and at the end, all the models go out, and her and some dude in some flamboyant suit walk arm in arm, and everyone cheers for him. Like, great show, amazing production, fabulous clothing, wonderful models. Look at Giselle and whoever the hell that is. Wonderful. Yeah. Bravo. That's all she does.
Look at Giselle and the short-haired African lady that we found. She's beautiful. Look at her. She's carved out of chocolate. And like that's it. It's like an hour of that and lingerie, and she's worth like $400 million.
Yeah. Does she have her own? I mean, is there like a Giselle perfume, clothing, handbag, belt, shoes, skin, healthcare products, deodorant?
I'm sure.
He's worth $250. She's worth $400.
Ooh,
I
damn.
know.
Almost double.
Crazy. That's crazy. It's crazy. It's wild. It is. It is insane. But I do want to get back to the Aaron Judge thing if we can. Wes, where do you put it? Like, how does it stand with you? What's the historical significance in your mind?
I mean, anytime that he's one of 8 players who have, one of 9 seasons or 8 seasons of people to hit 9 seasons of people to hit 60 or plus home runs. So, I mean, I think that's, that's incredible. It's a feat of its own. It's an American League record. I don't really care about the steroid stuff anymore. All that stuff is bullshit tarnished. It doesn't matter. Baseball was a game of stats. They did nothing to stop people from doing steroids. There were no rules against it. I don't have any hang-ups about the men who did steroids to, enhance their careers. So what? Fuck it. He's number 7. It's a great season, though. It's phenomenal.
I mean, I'm a fan of the asterisk personally. I think we
You
should
could do that. Sure.
I feel like we should have just done it, and now we don't even got to talk about it.
Yeah.
You throw stats, ESPN throws stats up, and there's fucking 6 asterisks, and then Aaron Judge. That's it, and that's fine. Like, we can still be. He's still 7th.
I think
like the MLB didn't strike him from the records. Like, it is what it is. We just got asterisks next to all them 70s.
Here's an interesting stat, though. A lot of people don't realize this. A couple years after Ruth hit 60, Jimmy Fox hit 58. And the old rule was when they had a rain delay game or rain that got cut short, and they actually had to make it up. They wouldn't, like a 7-inning game didn't suffice. They had to make it up at the end, and those stats didn't count. And he hit 2 home runs in those games, so he'd hit 62, not 60 as well, not 60 number 62, 60 comma TLO.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think, and the steroid era, if we want to put an asterisk next to it or whatever, I think in 20 years from now, we're going to look back at that era and be like, wow, that elevated players to perfect their bodies and their swings. And somebody's gonna break Bond's record eventually. All these the records will fall eventually, but it's going to take that much longer. And when they do it, it's going to be that much more satisfying to know that a natural player beat the steroid era guy finally after all these decades, a generation later, and it'll be amazing. And that's the feat that we're going to get on our feet and just celebrate the shit out of. And, Aaron Judge, good job. Well done. I'll give you a golf clap.
It's going to have to be a perfect storm of not only someone who's zoned in for that particular season, who's, locked the fuck in, but the teammates, because, I mean, Judge, it took him a while to get to 62, simply because people weren't pitching to him. People just weren't fucking throwing him anything in the strike zone. So, I mean...
Because they were like, have you seen Anthony Rizzo hit a ball this year?
Yeah.
We'll just pitch to that fucking guy. Like,
you take first, we'll get your fucking... Your slack jaw fucking follow-up guy.
Yeah, we'll get your buddy. He's got fucking chicken parmesans falling out his pocket. Get up here, buddy. Fucking get up here, Rizzo.
Yeah.
Why don't you pop this one into center field for us?
Why don't you go make some prank phone calls like your cousin Frank?
Yeah.
No, I don't care. I always attribute it to because there were no rules against steroid. There was no, back then there was no, there was no laws against it or rules with the Major League Baseball. That's like a teacher coming in and be like, all right, I'm going to administer the test. Okay. And I'm going to leave. All right. Now there's no cheating there's no rules against cheating, but just know if you cheat, it's bad, but I won't know if you cheated. Teacher walks out. Everyone fucking cheats. It's like, hell yeah, I'm getting an A. Come on. That's ridiculous. It's MLB's fault.
Agreed.
So the other thing I wanted to hit on, because this will tie in a little bit, is do you guys have any opinion about Lizzo playing, who the hell is it? Signee of the Declaration of Independence. James Madison's flute. First of all, I didn't even know he had a sacred flute that he used to serenade his I don't know, wife.
I had no idea.
Are you making a skin flute joke?
Well, I'm sure he played that flute a little more than his sacred fucking little toodaloo flute. So she played it and then wants to play it again, and this has raised a big hoorah amongst a certain constituents of people in this country.
Yeah, white people.
You're saying there's no minorities?
I doubt. I mean, probably. Okay. I mean, there's a couple. There's a few like there's probably some racist Cubans in like Miami. They're like, yeah, that Negro shouldn't be touching the white man's crystal flute. But yeah, for the most part, it's white people.
Okay. No, well, here's the thing. What? Okay, so besides that, so is it actually made of crystal or is it actually like a metal flute? What's the deal with the flute?
Yeah, I think it is made of crystal.
Wow.
I don't really know much about it. I'm assuming. Look, I don't know how one gets a crystal flute. I don't know if one commissioned one. I don't know even if how the technology even existed in the 1800s. But it seems gaudy, and it seems like somebody should play it because it seems cool. Yeah. Like I don't care who plays it. Honestly, somebody should play it.
What's her significance for wanting to do it? Bridging gaps between race relations and things like that. Or
I don't even know how it came to be initially. I mean, I know that she is like a trained concert flautist. Okay, like the bitch is like a really, really good flautist, and I get to say flautist a bunch. So.
I know. I was waiting to use it myself, and you got there first.
Yeah. Here's the thing. So, if Aaron Judge was like, "Hey, I want to use Roger Maris's bat to break his record," man, ship that motherfucker out of the Baseball Hall of Fame and let him use that big, way too heavy piece of lumber. And
let that giant behemoth turn it into dust right in front of your face as he hits one out of the fucking park.
And just
like
I'm cool that thing. Yeah. There's only a handful of things that are, sacred in this world. The Declaration of Independence, Lenin's body, the brawl that Dolly Parton wears every now and then.
I don't even know if she asked for it. Like, I'm reading this article. I think, like, the Library of Congress was like, hey, you're a famous classically trained flautist. Do you want to fucking play this thing? And she was like, yeah. Fuck yeah. I guess. Yeah. Why the fuck not?
So if the Historical Society is recommending it, then there's no gripes, Yeah.
Here's my gut here, and maybe this is where some of the reactions coming from, because my initial reaction, considering that she's been in the news a lot for some, like, quote unquote, depending on where you stand, scandalous reasons, like showing her ass for this reason or that reason, I'm like, oh, she's just trying to like grate people's nerves by grabbing, this old white man's flute, and I'm going to go play it. But knowing that she's a classically trained flautist, instruments like this are meant to be played by the best. Right. And so, yes, she has full right as a musician and someone who's classically trained to go play this thing. If it sounds better, especially if it sounds better, like the Stradivarius violins, like they get passed down by, like, you're not even allowed to try to buy it unless you've got the chops. Like if I was Elon Musk and I was like, I'd like to buy a Stradivarius. Why? Oh, just to have it. No. We'll only sell it to you if you're capable of playing it at a high level. Right. So if you're capable of playing the instrument at a high level, then yes, you may ask to play it. Or if you're offered it, then I think it's disingenuous, or it's almost an insult to turn down the opportunity.
You end up having to pull like what's his face from American Pie 2. It's like, my name's Petey. I have really big balls.
Yeah, like there's this quote. She goes, so this is from the early 1800s. This was a gift to James Madison from a French crystal flute designer, because those existed, to celebrate his second term. There was a fire, obviously, in the White House, and the only two things that were saved were a portrait of George Washington and this crystal flute. She's the first person to ever play it, apparently. It wasn't ever played. And the Library of Congress was like, yeah, take this.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
And then she played a thing that a classically trained flautist could play, and also twerked and fucking white rage.
It was hot cross buns, of course.
Filled the world. It was hot cross buns. It's the classically This is the classic.
I think what they should do is they should get classically trained musicians such as Lizzo and have a whole, Louis Armstrong's trumpet. Some famous if they still, I doubt that they have, like classical, pianos from Beethoven or Mozart's era, but surely someone famous from like the 1800s. You know, get a drum, some sort of percussion, and have a whole like Muppets band just up there, just fucking do.
That'd be great, actually.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of, I love these fucking quotes. Go ahead.
Did she really twerk while she was playing it?
I think she did, because why the fuck wouldn't you, to just infuriate the whites?
At that point, don't say infuriate the whites, okay? Because the playing of the flute.
The infuriate the rights. Then how about that? Does that work?
No. Okay. How about infuriate like people who still have a sense of decorum, like when it comes to like, I don't know, like a respectful way of
Lizzo to fucking play the flute. Then.
She didn't twerk.
To play it.
She didn't twerk when she played the flute. These
then I have no problem. Then here you go. Here comes the line. If that's the case, is if she twerked while playing this instrument, then yes, I would be upset that she would then be playing this instrument consequentially while twerking. However, if she goes up in a very, modest dress and like, we're here for the music, not for the burlesque show that I was going to put on for you, then I have no problem with the flautist fluting it up.
No, she definitely twerked. And yeah, who cares?
I do.
I don't care. Oh, that's because you're white.
It's not because I'm white. It's because
it is because you got no valid reason.
Hold on. We're getting to the bottom of this. She did not fucking twerk. She played
Yes, she fucking did.
While playing the flute.
Apparently, Lizzo breathing music into that ancient flute summoned a legion of trolls, furious that she had desecrated the sacred instrument by daring to shake her rear. For some reason, and this is hyperbole from Forbes, obviously. The simple act of twerking is a move guaranteed to boil the blood of right-wing culture warriors. There's one. It's their kryptonite, a dance move which practically requires a trigger warning in advance, lest they burst a blood vessel in blinding rage. That's facts.
There's a place.
You see how like red he got when he was like twerking? Oh! Like that was the straw.
I don't know if I read this.
Okay. Can we all agree that there's a time and a place for like certain activities to occur?
I guess.
And so if you're in this situation where you're playing a piece of classical music, you're performing this amazing talent that very few have the ability to perform, it should be available to everyone. I don't want like children watching somebody somehow jostle their butt cheeks while doing this, I don't know. You make me feel crazy when I get aggravated about these kinds of events. And this is something. It's an inappropriate thing to do, whilst being granted the opportunity to perform with something that very few, or no, actually zero people in history have ever had the opportunity to utilize.
No, like, is it?
Yeah,
like it always comes back to like, I don't want the children to watch ass shaking. But
it's true. It does.
Watch,
that has a little something to do with it.
But you'll watch the cowboy cheerleaders ass shake, or you'll watch fucking literally anyone do it. Like it doesn't. It's fucking nonsensical. These are all just reaches. It's like there's fucking these quotes. Jenna Ellis, former campaign lawyer for Donald Trump, a desecration purposefully of America's history.
I'm not going to that. I'm not making that reach. I'm not making that reach.
Everyone's favorite right-wing influencer, Matt Walsh, a form of racial retribution, according to the woke left. Oh,
as someone down the middle, I did not know she did this, and I do think it's a bit inappropriate.
Don't give the bitch a fucking crystal flute at one of her own concerts. Like
that may have been the wrong decision.
Whoever's decision that was probably the one at fault, not the entertainer performing in front of a sold-out show of her fans.
Yeah. Well, there's pictures of her actually in the library though. So I see it like she's in the Library of Congress, and then I see other pictures of her, on stage with the whole decorum and garb and things like that, and. So I don't want to play videos of it right now. I don't think she twerked at the Library of Congress. It looks like she twerked on stage in front of her fans. I mean, again, a bit off-putting. I'm not sitting there like, they should have rushed the stage and grabbed that damn thing out of her hands and smashed it in front of her. Said, no one can play it. But, yeah, I mean, there's a place and a time for twerk, and I don't think playing James Madison's flute on stage is it. But maybe that was the wrong decision. Maybe it's not her fault. It's the people that were like, yeah, let's do that.
But again, I'll take that if it was at her show, then fine. But if it's in the Library of Congress, not fine.
So
she didn't do it there. This was at on stage at her show.
So she played it twice, just to clear the air. Yes, and then she's in.
Yeah, I would guess.
Yeah,
because apparently this all came about because she visited. I guess they invited her to visit the library's flute collection, the largest in the world, of about 1,700 instruments.
Whole bunch of skin flutes in there too.
Yeah, and then I guarantee you, some fucking jackwagon in there was like, I bet it'd be fucking great. It'll get us a lot of press. Give her fucking old James Madison's crystal flute. She'll play the fuck out of that bitch, shaking them cheeks, and fucking the world will fucking light ablaze. God damn it!
I can't.
And look, we're talking about the Library of Congress and Lizzo and James Madison. Hashtag all of those motherfuckers.
I gotta tell you, I did not personally know that Madison had a crystal flute. That was a sacred piece of American history. I don't know. There's musicians and there's historians that do.
Well, I think it's actually nice that it was a crystal flute. Like, I feel like a lot of times we go back and we're like, "Hey, man, did you see fucking Grover Cleveland's fucking slave cane? He just used just femurs of fucking ex-slave. It's always some weird fucking artifact." So I was like, "Crystal flute. That's solid, actually." We're okay. I think that's okay.
Jesus.
What makes a cane slave cane?
When you make it out of slave femurs.
Oh, gotcha. Understood.
Yeah. It's always like, that's what I mean, is like these like old, like when you get to the founding fathers artifacts, like you see these George Washington's wooden teeth. Oh, you mean a slave's teeth? Yes. Yeah. Interesting artifact. Yeah, so this one is fucking innocuous for all, for artifact's sake.
Yeah, it's made by a French person, not a slave.
Made by a French person, not a slave.
Yeah.
He whittled it out of a solid piece of quartz.
Yeah.
While held hostage in the Bastille.
And you know what he did the entire time, or he or she was making it?
No, it wasn't she at the time. Come on.
That's just that the whole time.
Alrighty, well, moving on to something sacred. In this week's Friend or Foe, we figure out whether or not AI in place of an old classic cast member, is worthy of this week's Friend or Foe. So y'all got me bothered up, hot and bothered. I was watching Lizzo twerk.
Your Friend or Foe intros are patented. You've patented the worst intro of any bit of all time. Thank you, Wes. Let me try to fumble my way into this week's Friend or Foe. So, if you were unaware, James Earl Jones is in his early 90s at this point, and recently was the voice, once again, of the Dark Lord himself, Darth Vader, and the Obi-Wan Kenobi series on Disney+. Now, obviously, somebody in their 90s, it's actually a phenomenal feat that he was able to actually voice the character and sound still like the character that he voiced back in the 1970s. So James Earl Jones, obviously getting a little tired, a little withered, and has finally hung up the helmet as Darth Vader. But Disney does not want to replace the actor and his voice. They would like to utilize all of the recordings that he's done up to this point in 40 years and use artificial intelligence to now voice Darth Vader using the vocal cords of James Earl Jones moving forward. So, friend or foe? Should they move on and say, okay, you had a great run, old man. It's an acting position. It's an acting gig. Thank you for your service. It's time to hand the reins over to someone else and keep it a natural speaking voice. Or foe? No. James Earl Jones is Darth Vader, was Darth Vader, and will always be Darth Vader. We have the technology. Let's continue to utilize that man's voice so that he can live on in like almost an immortal form. Wes, we'll start with you.
I think they should get a white guy and he should twerk while he's doing James Earl Jones's voice.
I agree.
The weird thing to me about this is that there's voice actors all over, not necessarily even people who are cut out for the big screen or in front of the camera. I find it odd that not just here in the United States, but you watch actors and actresses do American accents, people from Australia, England, even German actors to a certain extent. After that, it gets a little, depending upon how good or how talented they are. I find it odd that they can't find someone who just can't nail the James Earl Jones voice. Obviously it's got to be a man, but I guess it could be someone from the LGBTQ community. I don't know. Person, they.
You opened that fucking door.
Well, it's someone who can nail that voice. I find it weird, but I'm going to say, friend, if you have the technology, I'm A-okay with it. I wish they hadn't said anything. I'm kind of faux that they brought it up. I just would have been fine. Even if James Earl Jones died, I'd have been like, hey, who are they going to get to do his voice? And they're like, don't worry. We got a plan. Don't you worry there, Wesley. You just keep watching. You keep spending money.
You know what my favorite part of Friend or Foe is that you guys have no idea which one's friend or which one's foe. So you would like...
No,
you're okay with them using...
I'm friend of the AI technology.
Correct. Which means you're foe. Thank you. Alan.
Yeah. You're right. We never know which fucking way the actual answer is because, and I think I'm going to blame it on Wes's intros that throw us into a fucking a tizzy. But either way, I both friend and foe this. Maybe I don't know. Again, I don't know which one's which. But as like a nerd, I'm like, oh, you can't change it. But then like, there's got to be some fucking like 13-year-old fucking kid who can pull this voice out of his asshole, like just randomly. You know what I mean? Like I refuse to believe. Like we've had like 4 different Elmos, right? Like come on, they all sound exactly the fucking same. We can find like we've had like 17 Kermits, right? I think.
I guarantee you right now, there's a group of people right now as we're speaking that someone's like, hey man, do your James Earl Jones voice. Yeah, and that person does it and everyone cracks up for 5 minutes. Yeah. And
then that person says spell Atlantic, the heart of communication. And then fucking everybody's like, oh, that shit's fire. Like, because it is. So yeah, I think somebody should have a chance, but I don't hate the voice AI thing. I also am, I think, a little bit wary because I had this work. This is a sidebar, but I had this work thing on Tuesday, and it was all about tech and like the office and workspace. And a couple of very important people in commercial real estate were like, we'll basically be in the Matrix in 10 years. So and I was like, wow. Oh. And you guys are saying that very nonchalantly. So weird. So yeah, fuck it. Maybe we'll just be in the Matrix and it won't matter.
I'm torn on this one as well. Now, the friend was your friend to finding a new actor, foe to keeping James Earl Jones as like the infinite voice.
The AI voice is foe. Okay.
Yeah. So if it was a different character, I think I would be more apt to go for a new actor and just see what they can bring to the character. But I think the character is so established, and the fact that Darth Vader himself was once a man that became a machine, it's almost poetic that the man that started out as the guy who wasn't even supposed to be the voice actor, was supposed to be Orson Welles, but he was too expensive, and Lucas decided that he was too recognizable also as a voice. So it's like, let's find somebody on the cheap who also has a commanding voice for the role. And it just so happened that he heard James Earl Jones doing a reading at a poetry seminar and said, that's my guy right there. And so he basically paid him scale. We got one of the most influential characters in the history of film. And I think it's, again, fitting that the man becomes the machine. And they've got so much tape of him doing video games, doing all the Star Wars movies, doing the series stuff now. Yeah. And the technology is so advanced. This will advance it even further because they haven't even utilized it yet.
Yeah.
I mean, all they have to do now is just plug it and play it. So in a way, I think I'm going to just have to go, I'm foe. It's the ultimate foe. It's the ultimate evil, and we roll with James Earl for the rest of the days.
I also find it humorous now that it's cheaper just to go the AI route than it is to pay a human being who likely they could probably find someone who could do the voice.
That is literally what these guys are talking about. It's fucking insane, bro. They were like, you're just going to be there, just plug a fucking Ethernet tube cable up your pooper and you're fucking put us in fucking tanks. Like, that's it. That's how we're going to work now. Like,
that better be
talk about metaverse offices and shit. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Well, I also just read, and I didn't read the whole story, but Bruce Willis apparently signed over his his rights to some company. So like if they make movies and they want Bruce Willis and they can do the CGI and they have all of his voice work, they can basically just say like, we want Bruce Willis for that movie. Well, Bruce Willis is kind of an invalid now and he can't act. It's like, that's all right. He signed his shit away to us.
Yeah.
So we'll just put him on screen. We'll do it for him.
When will Gary Busey do that? I mean, that's gotta happen.
America's dad.
Gary Busey's been a cyborg for 30 years.
You think those teeth are organic, bud? It's fucking manufactured in a factory.
Well, folks, let us know your opinion, friend or foe. Who the hell knows what either side of the fence are about, your opinion on whether or not they should use CGI or AI technology for James Earl Jones' voice. He's 91, by the way. He's had an incredible run, if you ask me. Field of Dreams. Was it The Sandlot? To name a few. always going to be Darth Vader.
That's an awful few.
He's obviously been in a lot more than that. Hey, folks, this week in Classholes history, this takes place around the early October timeframe of 2020. 2 years ago, exactly. We did a bit, one of my favorite bits, maybe that year of all time, actually. Man charted his sex request over the course of about 5 to 5.5 weeks. He, laid out an Excel spreadsheet, dated and offered his wife sex, says, hey, I would like to have sex, gave a yes or no, check or X, and then a reason why. Only 2 yeses throughout the month. I'm not going to spoil it for you if you hadn't heard it before. Take a listen or watch if you're watching from the YouTube video. Man charts his sex request this week in Classholes history. Let me get this back up. Yeah, so he did a what looks to be, I don't know, 5.5 weeks of asking his wife for sex. Not every day, but it looks to be, 6'3", 6'4", 6'6", 6'9", 6'10", 6'11", 6'12", 6'13", and then he had, so his date, sex, ? Yes or no, and the excuse. And this is good. Like 6'3", no, I'm watching the show, Friends rerun. 6'4", no, I'm sweaty, feel gross, need a shower, didn't shower until the next morning. 6'6", no, nonverbal. 6'9", no, I'm exhausted. 6'10", yes. 6'11", no, I'm still a bit tender from yesterday.
A bit tender. There you go. All right. Well, that's good. That's almost a compliment. That's worth not doing
it. She knew that. She wasn't tender. She was like, I got this built in every time. A little tender.
I don't like the no nonverbals.
Why not?
Because I need to know more context, like what made it a nonverbal no. Like, was it just like a...
So I think it was just like and just a flat out nope or
just ignoring you. Yeah.
Right. Just or it could have been like I mentioned earlier, the side poke, and the side poke is non-responsive. Who knows? All right, yes. Let's go on here. 6:13. I'm trying to watch a movie. Fell asleep 15 minutes later. 6:16. No, I'm too drunk. I ate too much. 6:18. I won't have time to get shower and ready for dinner. We were 20 minutes early. 6:19. No, I just came back from the gym. I feel gross. Didn't shower until the next morning. 6:20, no, nonverbal. 6:21, no, I have to get up early. 6:22, no, nonverbal. Then I like the fact that after so many no's, he waited 5 days. 6:27, got a yes. 6:29, no, you're too drunk.
See, that's the thing is I'm never too drunk.
Yes, that's so, right?
That's 100%. I'm never too drunk. In fact, the more drunk you have me, probably a better result for you it'll be. Because My senses are dulled in all forms.
Where were we? You're too drunk. 619. 6:30. No, I feel gross. 7-1. We're into July. I'm not feeling good. I ate too much. 7-3. I'm sweaty and gross and I'm tired. Then the old man tried it on 7-4, 4th of July, Star Spangled Banner. Could have gotten fireworks over all the goddamn covers and blankets and everywhere. We got to know nonverbal. God damn it. Maybe they were just both too drunk. 7-5, I might be getting sick. 7-6, I still don't feel 100%. 7-10, I need a shower. I feel gross. 7-11, I'm too tired. Damn, man.
I also don't like the I need a shower, I feel gross. It's really up to me whether you need a shower or you are gross. Right. If I'm not concerned, then you certainly shouldn't be.
I kind of feel like that's a gateway for, all right, let me get in the shower.
Yeah, but that's never been fun. It always looks fun on like TV and in movies, but it's not. It's not a real thing.
That is one area that porn has greatly fucking exacerbated. You know, but one in very particular, shower sex isn't cool.
No,
it's like not unless you got a big ass shower with like a seat in it or something. You know, but we're not millionaires.
I guess, but you know, the whole thing with the shower is like, it's like, okay, you know, like how fish have like that natural slime, and you don't want to get rubbed that slime off. And zing! The shower gets rid of that the natural coating that you want to preserve for that period of time. It's like, no. Okay.
All right. I don't know if you guys had watched that bit again. I always like the after the first yes, the next day she said, "No, I'm still a bit tender."
That's the biggest pat on the back you can get. That's like, you know what? I'm not even going to jerk off today. I'm just going to live with that memory.
Yeah. Still a bit tender from the day before. And then, of course, the one like, no, I feel gross. And then she wouldn't shower. Went to bed. I came back from the gym. I'm gross. I don't feel like shower. I'm gross. And I think, Murray, you had said, well, it should be up to me whether or not you feel gross. I'm the guy.
And I consistently still feel that way. There's I can remember I've been in a situation where like we're in bed and it's like I haven't brushed my teeth and I'm like I don't care. I'm gross.
Then we don't kiss. Even better.
You could literally be eating food while that doesn't matter. Fucking care. What are you talking about? Came back from the gym. Let me get a whiff. No, we're good. We're fine. Let's go. Let's get it good.
I think once you draw all the blood away from my head into my penis, I don't have any taste buds anymore. So it's fine.
Yeah. I've been eating Oreos for the last 15 minutes. Preparing for this. Coating it.
I just ate a whole can of beans. It's gonna get weird in here. Don't worry, girl.
Aruga. Oh, alrighty. Well, I think it's about that time, folks, for OMG Fun Facts.
Fun Fact Friday. 5 fun facts for you fuckers on a Friday. Brought to you, of course, by our friends over at the Shin Splints Recovery Group. And apparently the Shin Splints Recovery Group isn't as bullshit as I once thought it was. Wes, would you like to tell the tale of the Shin Splints Recovery Group?
First of all, I'm not one of the. I don't even know how many followers they have. It's 4 digits. I think they eclipsed the 5,000K mark or something like that. And someone from across the pond in England ran more than 5K. Ran actually a marathon. Attributed the Shin Splints Recovery Group and the inspiration and all the good words to get him across the finish line. Alan, you said, and you are a member. You follow it. You're not a member of the.
Yes.
Loose follower. And the guy said he ran like a couple hundred meters and then walked. Ran a couple hundred meters and walked, and took a picture over the finish line with a medal that they give to everyone who runs the marathon in his mouth, posted it on the Shin Splints Recovery Group, thanked everyone, said, dreams can come true, even with shin splints.
Yeah. He's like, don't let your weak ass shins hold you back, basically. He was like, what you do is you get you some fucking orthotics and you get out there and you walk a few miles and then run a few miles. and then walk a few miles again, and then run, and then finish a couple hours after everyone that ran the marathon, but finish.
Oh yeah, they definitely had to scramble 2 people out to the finish line to hold up what they thought was like the end of the ribbon cutting. Like, oh shit, someone's walking down.
It was
here.
just like fucking 2 teenagers sitting on the ground. They're like, oh shit, he's coming, and then they just stood up and held the fucking ribbon taut.
And this was the London Marathon. Took place October 2nd.
Yeah, now it's like kind of a fucking big deal.
Christ. Well, congratulations. Fuck your name is.
Congratulations, guy.
Who cares? He's some guy. He didn't run the marathon. Look, I always say I run a mile. You know what I do? Every day when I run my mile on the treadmill, I walk for 30 seconds at 4.5 miles an hour. And then I quote unquote run for 30 seconds. And yes, I can do under 10 minutes, but that ain't running a mile. And just like that guy didn't run a marathon. So I stand corrected. The Shin Splints Recovery Group, still a bullshit organization on Facebook. If you got any pain below the knee and above the ankle, what, Wesley?
After that mile, do you deny your wife sex because you feel gross?
Never.
She should ask for a whiff. Make sure you're good.
That's where I burn the rest of my calories, my friends.
My mantra.
That's
quick. It's my wife after a potentially sweaty day and like milk near the expiration. Good old smell test. Good. You'll find out real quick. Is that a place I want to be? Do I want that on my cereal? Maybe.
Better be Cocoa Puffs.
It's not chunky.
All right, give us that first fact. Feed us.
All right, no singing this week. Straight to the teat of some OMG facts. Here we go. Did you know the month in which the most murders happens is August?
I wouldn't think that.
No.
Any theories then?
No, I mean, well,
And
no, because
summer?
you could have given me 6 cracks at that, and I probably wouldn't have gotten to August.
Jesus.
I mean, think about it. August? I don't know. That seems unassuming.
No, I wouldn't have guessed August, but now that I know it's August, I think I have a pretty scientifically accurate reason as to why. But Alan?
I think it's end of summer. Like, end of summer. Because, like, you can see trends. Like, there are trends in the cities. Like, obviously, in most major cities, crime spikes in warm weather, not in cold weather, because cold weather crime's not fun. It's fucking cold outside. But, yeah, no, I think end of summer. Yeah, just, back to school. Maybe like a couple last minute
or not.
or exactly. Like a couple late summer vacations. Like, yeah. You take a couple kids to Disneyland, somebody might get murdered in the Everglades. You never know.
You're thinking very American on this. I mean, it's end of summer for us, Australians and
this is worldwide. Is this international? It's just August all over the world.
I think the OMG fun facts didn't give it me.
You were adding context to this that doesn't exist. Got it.
Yeah, no, but I still think Alan's because look, in the other parts of the world that you're speaking of, where it's winter in August, they don't keep statistics. They're not called murders. They're just called Tuk Tuk didn't come home last night.
Yes.
Tuk Tuk. There's no Tuk Tuks in fucking Sydney, but fine.
But Australia is like fairly warm year round. It's very fairly temperate year round. But no, I believe in the first world countries. They're first because they're the only ones that count. I think Alan's right. It's summertime. Even at night, it's like what minimum of like 75 degrees. The weather is pretty good. There's not a lot of rain in August. That's why you usually have your droughts in August. So people are just your creeps are roaming the streets, and the people that are trying to have fun are roaming the streets, getting those last throws before like the full-fledged force of the work life kicks back in after Labor Day. So yeah, I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I don't have any theories. I guess that I mean, Alan, were you thinking of it more of psychologically, like this is the end of summer and I'm pissed off?
Well, no, it's like just an amalgam of like reasons, right? So like it's the end of summer and like
get it in now.
Yeah, like exactly. You got like just think about end of summer. Like think about the last couple of months for us. We were like, oh yeah, it's summer. It's great. And then it started to get like fall-y and the sun started to go down earlier and we were like, man, this is wet.
But
you know, and now we're like, we just had fall, like false fall just happened, like this past week.
Yeah.
Like we were like, oh, I'm not going outside. Like I didn't go outside like all fucking weekend. Who am I murdering if I'm stuck in my house? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm not
like,
digging out my sweatshirts. Mm-mm.
Things, yeah, no, I don't want to get blood on my gear. Like it's fucking, I like it. It's cold outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's just like a group of reasons in that like that month and that time period where like, yeah, fuck it. You're really stressed out if you got children, taking them back to school and stuff. I'm telling you, I think that's a part of it.
Murdering your children. Fair enough.
Well, no, murdering spouses probably
Okay.
over the stress of children is probably more like it. Not so much murdering children.
Gotcha.
I wasn't going that dark. Fucking animal.
I'm not buying another book bag. Fuck this.
Yeah. Like, you know what, Christine? I've had enough.
I don't know what size shoes he wears. Yeah.
Like, a kid couldn't find a fucking Jansport.
He has shin splints. He fell down the steps. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you know the word planet comes from the Greek word for wanderer because the planets move while the stars remain still?
Nope. I did not know that.
No idea. I don't speak Greek or Latin. Yeah,
I just love that they didn't they kill
God.
Copernicus? Didn't they kill like Copernicus? Was it Copernicus or Galileo or
think
all
it's-
of them?
It was pretty much all.
Galileo, they
Yeah.
just put in jail for a while.
Okay,
They were
well,
all like steps along the way. Like one of them was like the sun's in the center. And
but like
Right.
centuries before these guys made like outlandish claims, like the ancients are like they pretty much had it down, like they figured it out. Like we just hadn't found all their clay tablets yet because we weren't looking for them because we didn't give a shit. And then now you come to find out, like, yeah, the Greeks had it down. They knew what was up. Telling you, civilization before civilization.
oh yeah, no, I was watching a very interesting article, or a very interesting documentary about like the fucking like looting of knowledge by just generally Europeans throughout like ancient times when they moved across fucking the world. And I was like, yeah, like there's probably a lot of like the great conspiracy theory about like the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. They were like, it's got all the fucking world's knowledge, and they were like, those Browns can't have all that knowledge. Get that the fuck out of there. Get that the fuck out of there, guys. And fucking boom, gone.
If there's any flutes, get them out as well.
Get them fucking out.
I'm sensing a lot of rage from you today. Did a white man cut you off in traffic? Like, what the fuck,
no.
man?
No, look, you guys are easy to hate, Brendan. I watched the document. The documentary made me fucking made it. I was
know.
like, touche.
I get it. A
And
lot
what?
of documentaries made in this current era are really.
I think it wasn't even that recent. Like it was fairly old.
Was it
They were
narrate?
like,
Was
look, the people who are educated understand that white people were bad for a long period of time.
Okay. I'm not that I'm like standing here like I'm gonna stick up for white people.
I mean, you are, but that's fine.
was it a James Earl Jones documentary? I think I've seen that one.
No, I don't think it was, but I'll find it for you.
Everyone in history, all races, colors, and creeds, did bad shit to each other.
Yeah,
And I'm not gonna sit here and be like we were the best.
yeah. Genghis Khan wasn't some fucking, some teetotaler.
Yeah, he changed the carbon footprint of the planet for the better, by the way, by murdering like a quarter of all the population that lived on Earth at the time. He sired like I think there's some like astronomical number, like 23% of people in that region have his DNA because he just banged every chick he came across after conquering them.
God,
I mean, bad things.
this guy was Peter North before Peter North was Peter
I
North.
think you mean he raped many natives.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
I don't know that it went exactly. This is my point. Do you see how the white person phrased that whole concept versus me having to come in and be like, I believe that this is how it happened, not the way that you just framed it.
I'm just trying not to get us flagged for using the R word because that's something that does
Sorry.
happen.
Raped. He raped a lot of natives. All
You
right.
mean fist in the rear?
He gave them grapes.
Okay.
The point, I guess my point is, I had nothing to do with any of the I don't know, the
That's fine.
atrocities.
Like, I'm not mad at you.
No, I know, but
you have to be willing to be like, "Yep, we were bad."
sure,
It's okay.
absolutely,
Okay.
white
Yeah.
people did bad things. However, I would also argue, and I hate to do this from as a white person. I wish I could change my tone right now, but I can't. That we are able to draw these conclusions because of the society that they created, even out of their own savagery. So
Yeah,
there's
but here's the thing. Like, again, society existed before white people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that, like, again, back to this documentary, it was really about like antiquities around the world at museums. And
sure.
And so like they interviewed this like tribal elder from Benin, which was the kingdom of Benin, which was in Nigeria, and fucking apparently they had a big palace, and fucking in like the 80s, the English went down there and were like, check it out, we want all of this, and
Sure.
we have guns and stuff, so we're gonna take it. And we're going to burn this temple down, and we're going to chop off these bronze plates that are on your temple. And come to find out, those bronze plates were like a historical fucking recollection of the ancient kingdom of Benin. And this guy was like, you basically just ripped pages out of our history book, and now you leave them in a museum where the Nigerian people can't fucking view them.
Sure.
Like, you know, so it's like shit like that. It's like,
I would
okay.
say this as a unifying point. I would say that the elite have been hiding the knowledge from the subservient
well, yeah.
for eons, and the white people are just really good at hiding shit.
And they probably twerked while they cut them down.
Or like they
probably
were really
checked
good at stealing shit, and then they come back, and like nowadays, I think the more egregious thing is like we have that knowledge, and like people from the kingdom of Benin have been like, can we get those? And they're like, oh no, yeah, no. The English people wouldn't be able to see them at our museum if we give them back to you. What, like that's, you understand that, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but it's ours. And they're like,
Well, come look. You can come over here and look at them. We'll give you. We'll give you some tickets.
because a lot of Nigerians can get to fucking the museum of the history, like Museum of History in London.
Well,
By the way,
no.
This documentary, it wasn't James Earl Jones, it was Tommy Lee Jones. Classic mix-up.
Yes, yep.
Classic.
Did you know every year the Earth becomes about 12 tons heavier because of meteorites landing?
12 tons. You know, it's... I didn't know that, but it's not a shocker because about once every 3 to 4 months you hit us up with the Earth's moving 3 centimeters off axis. Hawaii's moving. Japan's moving. Craters are being created.
Did
you know,
you not know that like the continents were moving?
no,
though?
I do. I know
Like,
I do, but it just it doesn't. I'm not flabbergasted. I'm not like totally like holy shit anymore. Murr hits us up with these fun facts. And all not all of them, excuse me. Every now and then it involves some sort of wild, crazy shit like this. 12 tons worth of that, and these are, I'm assuming these for the most part are either small pebbles, microscopic, things like that. I wonder if any poor bastard just gets plugged by something that's like a pellet sized.
Well,
somebody has.
I have a story that few people believe. Your brother, God bless him, he believes me. I was driving home one night. I was on Dr. Jack Road. And I look up in the sky, and I see this giant green flaming ball just fucking hurtling through the atmosphere. I'm like, holy shit. I wonder if anybody saw that. I'm driving. About 30 seconds later, it was like somebody took a handful of pea gravel and threw it across the hood of my car. I slammed on the brakes. I rolled the window down. I got out. I was like, I'll fuck you up for throwing fucking rocks in my goddamn car. Heard nothing. And I'm like, holy shit. I wonder if that was debris from that giant green flaming ball of rock that I just saw over my head 30 seconds ago.
Maybe.
I got hit by a meteorite.
Damn. Is this
That's
around?
pretty cool.
Is this around the same spot where you hit that deer and got out of the car, and then you were gonna go beat the deer up, and the deer comes? Oh shit!
About a mile away. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Wild shit happens on this road, Murr.
Crazy road, bro.
Dr. Jack.
Shouldn't have told people where I fucking live.
Oh fuck.
I
Yeah.
think my bigger question is, the Earth's flat, so like, why don't they just blow through the sheet of Earth?
Good point.
You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, flat Earthers. We got a question for you.
If too much meteorite dust collects on one side of the plate, does the plate tip over?
Or if too much meteorite dust falls in the center, will it suck the continents in as it weighs down the center? Like if you held a sheet of paper and like put a weight in the middle of it?
Yeah, they never addressed whether it's elastic or has like elasticity properties like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
We should start a course, and we'll call it Flat Earth Science. Like Earth Science, but it only revolves around the flat Earth.
We could probably teach this at a community college or something.
Yes, as an elective.
Yes, yeah.
I think we're very, very patting ourselves in the back about. I don't think a community college dean or academic advisor is going to go for this, but hey,
we've discussed this. I took social science and belief in the paranormal at UMBC, a very well accredited institution of higher learning.
Listen,
I'm sure I could sneak in some QAnon nonsense into a fucking CCBC curriculum.
okay.
Whitewater Community College in Arkansas. We can do it.
Okay. Well, and also, by the way, we did get about 2 or 3 people on a specific TikTok video that I posted, Flat Earthers, that said, where Murray, you had said, I just want to debate one of them. And they said, I'll get on. I'll jump on and debate you guys. So there's
All
that.
right. Well, we have to compile like questions like this.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a fascinating set of factoids that you unearthed there, Alan.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean that's a valid question, I think, right? Like, or let's dial it back even more. Saying it in the same vein though. If the Earth is flat, like this is tricky because they gotta believe in dinosaurs and shit, which is maybe up in the air. So like did the meteor that is big enough to extinct the dinosaurs, if you believe that theory, right? Why didn't that fucking thing blow right? Why isn't there a giant hole in the middle of Earth plate?
I was gonna say, where does oil come from?
Bam.
Yeah. Listen,
Is
there
it
is
just
one
space?
thing that I've known that I have recognized with conspiracy theorists. And here's the deal. You're going to have to understand this when you ask these types of questions because they don't necessarily...
Not rooted in reality.
No, they don't. Well, that too. They don't necessarily need to create an alternative, completely constructed theory to think or know that they've been lied to. You know what I mean? I don't need to create the... Now, in a sane person, rational person's mind, you say, well, construct the alternative. Make me believe that this one is better than what I currently believe. Well, and I don't need to do that in order to believe that someone's fibbing to me. Which
Well,
is
I
true.
know I would make the greatest flat Earth scientist because my answer to that would be, well, because flat Earth science is is in its infancy, we haven't had time to create the theories that explain the phenomenon that you're speaking to.
Yeah.
Let me get back to you.
It's just a new science. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. There's still more to discover.
Yeah.
And oil's fake.
There's so much to learn.
Oil's fake.
Let's keep going. Fucking the hole that the dinosaur meteor blew in that. You mean to tell me American Airlines hasn't monetized that as a fast air travel unit?
I have seen some good ones with some anti-flat Earth questions about airline travel, like getting from Santiago to other places. Where like, okay, if it was a flat Earth, this would take 15 hours, but from here to here, it's half that because of the axis.
Like what if like California's on the edge of the meteor hole and Maryland's on the other side? What if I just go down the meteor hole and round?
I think it's
round Earth.
I think it's like Pac-Man. When you go through the right, you come out the left.
Oh yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, wouldn't
Check it out.
the Japanese have had to fly across like Asia, Europe, the Atlantic,
Yes.
over the U.S.
They would have had to fly over the U.S. to get to Hawaii.
Yeah, the bombing of Pearl Harbor would have required like 15 fucking fuel pump ups from the original Nintendo N64 game, which was really hard. Not N64, Nintendo. Sorry.
Here's a conspiracy for you: the Japanese Air Force actually refueled in the United States before bombing the United States.
Oh shit!
Wow.
Flat Earth.
If they that. Either way, they would have needed a lot of coffee, because did you know, before people drank coffee, they had been chewing on its beans for 400 years.
Don't some aren't there places that still do that? There's still like the chew. Isn't there something like, like what were they chewing on in Captain? Was it that Tom Hanks movie?
Yeah, it's
well,
there's some kind of leaf. It's not necessarily related to the chocolate plant, the cocoa plant or cocoa plant or whatever. Mm-hmm. And there's also there's some sort of it's a stimulant. There's a bunch of different leaves that are stimulants, and actually, like the cocoa plant, you can chew its leaves, and it's like drinking a cup of coffee. It's not like you don't get wired like cocaine or anything. It's just when you pour gasoline on it and wait for it to dry, and then stomp on it, and then grind it, and then mix it with baking soda and fentanyl, that you get it to the U.S. and it makes you all hopped up and crazy. But
then you put it in children's Halloween candy, because that's the natural thing to do with drugs.
Enjoy your Kit Kat.
Here's this free fucking drugs, child.
Remember when times were more innocent and you just got a razor blade? Jesus.
And the candied apple.
Yeah. And finally, did you know, since space is a vacuum, the laser beams in Star Wars would not be visible, nor would you be able to hear the explosions?
Ooh, I did know that because my physics teacher in high school told me that. And that guy never lied.
I was going to say, or he just lied to you.
Now,
because he wasn't aware of flat Earth science.
Now, I kind of, I think Dewey had mentioned that to me when we were in middle school watching Return of the Jedi. And I think we had gotten into a debate because I said, this is the greatest Star Wars movie of all time. He was like, you're a fucking moron. It's Empire Strikes Back. And I was like, don't you call me a moron, or else I slap you with this half-eaten piece of beef jerky that still has about a foot left on it. And then we started lightsaber dueling and kicking and all this other stuff. And then something got blown up. He's like, you wouldn't be able to hear that. Now that's that's a rather dramatic reincarnation of how it went. It was probably a lot more dull. But yeah, I did know that. You wouldn't be able to hear the explosions because there's spaces in a vacuum. Sound doesn't carry like that, right? There's no oxygen there's no O2 to create the vibrations.
Boom. Well done, sir. I was getting ready to bring up the vibration, but yes, you got there first. So yeah. But look, if the spaceship itself is pressurized, would you be able to hear I feel like you would be able to, at least inside of the craft, you would hear the commotion of what's happening to your craft, at least. Like if you got hit, you would hear the bojangle of what's going on.
For a hot minute?
Yeah. And you definitely hear the pew, pew, like from the distance and like down a hallway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah. And a lot of the fights took place on planets themselves. So yes, the stuff in space wouldn't have been accurate, but the stuff on the ground would have been accurate. So fuck that fact. It's not fun.
Man,
and that's your Fun Fact Friday.
Those movies are no fun without the...
Agreed.
When the Death Star blows up, and then the flutes that are played by Lizzo.
And fucking slave canes and fucking meteor holes in flat Earth.
That's right. Ewoks are twerking.
Ewoks twerking, banging themselves with glass flutes. Crazy. This is fucking absolute mayhem.
George Lucas. Amazing.
And this is why they made a planet that blows up planets.
All righty. Hey, real quick before you go, rounding it out with some more sports here. DK Metcalf, star wide receiver for the Seattle Seahawks, had to get the tow truck or the cart. Now, for the most part, The cart is called in for someone who has a catastrophic injury. They call in the ambulance if they think you have a spinal cord injury. But if you have, blown out an Achilles, an ACL, broken leg, something a little more catastrophic. In Mr. Metcalf's case, is just simply because he had to poop. And quote, the clinch and walk wouldn't have made it. Your thoughts on getting the cart? That way Mr. Metcalf didn't poop. I do have a question about this, but your thoughts on the urgency of the situation?
I mean, sometimes you got poop. Like, it's weird to me because, like, look, we've all played sports, right? Like, the human body, when you start being active and shit like that, typically shuts down all your bodily functions so that you don't have to shit, like, mid-route run. But yeah, every now and then you have a slippery Taco Bell quesadilla that just fucking ain't making it past the third quarter of the fucking game. And you got to go back to the locker room and untape and fucking get everything down, squirt one out, and come back out to fucking put up a hundo with a couple touchdowns.
Let me tell you, I've been out running my route, if you will. and it happens every Christmas because we start coming in earlier. We got to run shit early in the morning, and the body just hasn't transitioned to this new schedule yet. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I am pushing my feet through the floorboard of that rickety-ass vehicle that I have to drive, like trying to force my bowels to hold what it is in my body, where I start flop sweating. I've never felt a body go cold like I felt mine go cold in a mid-December morning. And if I had somebody that could just let me just not concentrate on physical activity and get me to a facility that I could unleash hell, God, if that was at my disposal, absolutely I'm taking that opportunity. You've got a multi-million-dollar person standing on a field, and they got to poop. If this was Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or Mark Zuckerberg or Bill Gates or any of the elitists that exist in the world, and they were like, carry me to my throne, we wouldn't blink twice. But the fact that it's a professional athlete on a field on a Sunday, some reason makes it weird. Nope, not weird at all. Homeboy had to shit. He was going to have to fucking... Think about this. You're in front of like 50,000 people, and you're going to do the pigeon toe walk for how many yards, how many thousands of feet just to get to a locker room toilet when you got a golf cart standing by? You're taking the golf cart. Yeah. I have no problem with what he did, and the team owes it to him. He's an asset.
Was like, and some of those fucking walks, like, it's not like you go into the tunnel and there's a bathroom door. Like when you get to the bottom, you gotta walk down and like around a corner and fucking through a giant locker. Nah. Mm-mm.
Well, that's what
drive my ass to this bathroom.
That's what I was gonna ask. I mean, if the clinch and walk wasn't gonna work for him, how is this thing navigating the inner workings of the field in Seattle to right up to the fucking bathroom stall?
I mean, to the locker room probably.
Well, here's the way I'm looking at it. Okay. 50 yards, that's the minimum, and that's just to get to the end zone. Yeah. And then you got what? Another, how wide's the field? That's like another 50 yards, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's 100 yards. Then you got the walkway, which obviously can fit a golf cart because they drive through the catacombs, that thing in that vehicle all the time. So that's another 50 yards. So you're talking about 150 yards minimum just to get to where the cart can't go anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm taking the cart, man.
Yeah. I think, and Alan, you had brought up like a quesadilla. I don't know if you've ever seen DK Metcalf shirtless. I don't think he even smells quesadillas. I think this poop is straight fucking protein powder and shake and steak, and I think it's a very delicate diet.
You say that, but I don't know, man. He's a young, strapping young man. You know what I mean? You're right. It's probably a lot of protein, a lot of just fucking broccoli and fucking boiled chicken. But it's also probably like a late night 10-piece wing and all the Douce he drank at the club. Like, that shit will squirt out of you quick. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter.
You can hold...
Yeah, go ahead.
You can hold solids back. I have a feeling this wasn't solid. Oh. I have a feeling. Yeah, this was like, I need to go turn the faucet on, boys. Get me on that cart. And then I can utilize, because again, as much as I've had to poop, and maybe I know that I've got 10 minutes to get to a bathroom, I've been able to hold it in. But that's solid. If it was liquid, done. You need all of your bodily presence to be able to hold that in. So you got to ride it out.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to ride this one out. Few minutes left on the show. Alan, tell the kiddos and the kidettes where you can find us.
You can check us out on the internets. You can find us at all your favorite social media platforms. We're at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. We're the Middle Classholes on Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. I don't know why I don't say YouTube. We're the Middle Classholes on YouTube too. Check us out there. Long form content.
That's correct.
I believe they call it. Anyway, and for your listening pleasure, check us out on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and email us, you fucking animals. I'm getting sick of this shit. I want somebody to fucking send me something at tickleourtummies@gmail.com.
Real quick, before we go, we want to send a rest in peace to wrestling great Antonio Inoki. A little bit before our time, and also the fact that he wrestled most of his career over in New Japan Pro Wrestling. But hey, listen, I watched him a little bit in the late 80s, early 90s. But if you're curious, head out to anywhere on Daily Motion YouTube. He ends up fighting this former strongman from, I think he was from Belarus or Switzerland, somewhere like Middle Europe there. But his name's Great Antonio. Total asshole. No selling everything Inoki does. And then about 4 or 5 minutes into the match, and no selling means he's not being, he's not acting like he's hurt by anything the other wrestler is doing. About halfway through the match, Inoki says, "Fuck this," and legitimately just starts busting this dude's ass. Punches, kicks, bloody face all over the place. The referee finally's like, "Holy shit, yep, this ain't getting any better. Better call it." Ding, 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 ding. Gets up. This guy's fucking face is just battered. Check it out. Great Antonio versus Antonio Inoki, breaking kayfabe. And that just shows how badass Antonio Inoki was. Rest in peace, wrestling great. Folks, appreciate it. Have a good one. Check us out next week. We're preparing for Halloween. Don't know what we're going to do, but we're certainly not going to lace Kit Kats. Okay. Or maybe we will. I don't know. Have a good one.
Pedals, people.